So you've got this brilliant idea for an app or a piece of software, but there's just one problem. You can't code. Sound familiar? Well, what if I told you that you've been sold a massive lie? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on some of the software industry's biggest secrets. And we're going to show you how you can build a software fortune without ever writing a single line of code yourself. And let's just kick things off with this bombshell right here. Look, this isn't just some bold claim to get your attention. It's a pattern that's been playing out for decades in the tech world. The core idea that you have to be some kind of technical wizard to succeed in software is frankly just wrong. The real game, it's about something else entirely. So in this explainer, we're going to tear these lies apart one by one. We'll start with the industry's trillion-dollar secret, then we'll completely debunk that myth of the genius coder. We're also going to expose the false shortcuts that just burn your money, reveal the single most important secret to success, and finally, look at some much smarter ways to actually get paid.
All right, first up, let's talk about the money. I mean, why is software so uniquely profitable? The answer is probably not what you're thinking. The sheer scale of this industry is just staggering. We are talking trillions with a T. This isn't just a market, it's a whole universe of opportunity. And honestly, the barrier to get in has never, ever been lower. But to really tap into it, you have to understand the industry's biggest, best-kept secret. And this is it. This is the secret. Higher than jewelry, cars, sometimes even more than real estate. You see, the tech industry has done an incredible job of convincing all of us that software is this mysterious, complex thing. But its value isn't based on how complicated the code is, it's based on the outcome it delivers. And that is a game anyone can play.
Okay, now let's get to the biggest mental roadblock for most aspiring founders. This romanticized picture of the brilliant hacker in a dark room. You know the one. It's a powerful myth, for sure, but it is a complete and utter load of crap.
So if they're not hammering out complex algorithms from sunrise to sunset, what are the founders of these huge tech companies really spending their time on? The reality is they're business people, they're project managers, they're in meetings, they're talking to customers, they're hiring people, and they're making hundreds of tiny decisions every single day. The job isn't about rowing in the engine room, it's about steering the entire ship. And this just nails the point home, doesn't it? Steve Jobs famously couldn't code. His genius was marketing and being a ruthless, effective project manager. Bill Gates' true gift was business strategy, not programming. And Facebook, its insane growth was driven by a deep understanding of human psychology, not just by having the most elegant code. The pattern is crystal clear. Success comes from business skills, not technical ones. So the crucial point you have to internalize is this. Your goal is not to build something that's technically impressive. Your goal is to solve a problem for a customer. A simple tool that saves someone an hour a week is infinitely more valuable than a super complex piece of software that solves a problem nobody actually has. Okay, so if you're not coding, what about those popular shortcuts, right? Like getting an AI to build your app or hiring a cheap developer from overseas. Sounds easy, doesn't it? Well, let's dig into why these paths so often lead to nothing but frustration and failure. First up is this very modern pitfall that I like to call the vibe coding trap. This is the idea that you can just tell an AI what you want. Kind of describe the vibe of your app, and a perfect, working application will magically appear. It really doesn't work that way.
Does this little cycle sound familiar? The AI gives you the ingredients, but it assumes you're already a 5-star chef. It spits out a bunch of code, but you have no idea how to set up the server, or configure the database, or what to do with all these cryptic error messages. It's a factory for frustration.
Okay, so what about that other classic piece of advice you always hear? Just hire someone. This sounds so simple, but it is probably the fastest way to set a pile of your savings on fire. The system is just fundamentally broken for non-technical founders. What seems crystal clear in your head is totally ambiguous to a developer. Their main incentive is to get paid for their time, not necessarily to make your business a smashing success. And they will make thousands of hidden little technical decisions that can trap you and cost you an absolute fortune to fix later on. It is a minefield. So if coding yourself is out and the shortcuts are traps, what's left? Let's get to the real secret. This right here is the mental shift that changes the entire game for you. This is it. 2 words. This is all that matters. Your customer does not care about your database architecture or what programming language you used. They care about one thing, and one thing only: the result, the outcome.
And this breaks it down perfectly. People don't pay £500 for a calculator. They pay to save 10 hours of agonizing work and to avoid making costly mistakes on their taxes. They don't pay £99 a month for a to-do list. They're paying for the feeling of control and the outcome of hitting their deadlines. Remember, you are selling a result.
Let this one really sink in. Understanding what people will pay for, knowing how to market to them, and being able to execute quickly. These are the skills that build empires. The ability to write code is just one implementation detail among many.
Now that we've established that what you're really selling is value, let's talk about the best ways to actually capture that value. In other words, how you're going to get paid.
When it comes to getting paid, there are two main ways to think about it. First, you have recurring revenue, like a subscription. This creates predictable income, but it also comes with ongoing obligations. And second, you've got one-time purchases, which offer a much simpler, direct exchange of value.
Look, subscriptions are great for that predictable revenue stream, but they come with constant pressure to deliver new value and to handle all the customer service. A one-time purchase, on the other hand, is beautifully simple. The customer gets a great tool that solves their problem, and you get paid without any ongoing obligation. For many focus tools, this is actually a much safer and more profitable way to go.
And your options don't even stop there. You can sell white label rights, which lets other agencies rebrand and sell your tool. You can offer a free freemium version to attract a huge user base. Or you can bundle products, or even sell customization services. As the product owner, you have incredible flexibility.
So we end with this. The old walls that kept people out of the software game are falling down. The question is no longer, can I build it? The only question that matters now is, what valuable problem will I choose to solve? The choice is yours.